Sup, everybody? This is Karak with your Gaming News Minutes, where I cover a little bit of news and some upcoming games coming out on some of the free services. The first thing I want to talk about today, Techland, makers of Dying Light, and its recently released sequel that I enjoyed, Dying Light 2, has already shared a bit of information on a new game that the company is working on. In a press release, the CEO stated, "At this time, our ambition is to introduce a brand new IP that's vastly different from what we've been doing for the past several years. We want to create a fully next-gen experience, a new fantasy epic set in a sprawling open world, fueled by the skills and experience we have gained as a team over the years, infused with new ideas, passion, and creativity." Now, one thing to remember is that Techland stuck with Dying Light 1 almost up until Dying Light 2 got released, and has the same insanely ambitious plans for the DLC for Dying Light 2. Hearing that they're working on another title with new devs within the company isn't only exciting for the people who may or may not like zombie games, but also because of some of the staff and certainly some of the excellent support these guys have delivered. We've seen a lot of games come and go and maybe have some really cool content, but then they just sort of die out. But let's talk a little bit about the staff. For example, Carolina Soshraya, narrative director, previously worked with CD Projekt Red on Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, including the DLCs, Blood and Wine, a DLC considered to be one of the best storylines in the Witcher franchises. Most people out there who play the game will always tell you you haven't completely played that title until you played the DLCs. Also joining her is the narrative lead from that title, joining in as the narrative lead for this one as well, and worked on CD Projekt Red on those two games and the DLC. But they're also going to be joined by even more people. Just look at some of these positions they've filled. CD Projekt Red has lost a couple people as well. The open world directors from CD Projekt Red. The creative director is from Mad Max, from Warner Brothers, and has also worked on many other titles. The lead game designer worked originally at Arcane, then leapt over to Deep Silver and Playground Games as well. That is some serious amounts of talent in one position. Techland is also looking to hire a number of staff for this as they continue to move forward. And we really need these titles. Skyrim's so old it's probably got stone etchings in a cave somewhere about it. And other titles in the fantasy open world genre are not exactly cutting across the cream of the crop. Hey, being a part of the cream at all is pretty cool. But as I said before, some of these titles come and they go fairly quickly. Only a couple have stuck. Seeing all these names and Techland's desire for continued content that we have actually seen them show through and through for multiple games is excellent. That support and that talent is enticing for sure. I'm actually quite excited about this, but what's not exciting about it was the piece of art they released for the game. No harm to the artist. It's expertly drawn or painted. But when you're going to show something, it should be better than what we see here. It's basically just a dude standing in front, maybe 500 yards in front of some kind of ruin that's covered with waterfalls. It speaks more of a let's make some atmosphere for this announcement versus any real connection to the game kind of art piece. I love Skyrim, I love Witcher, I love open world fantasy games, and I'm ready for what they make. I just hope they actually have better key art for us to see. Another day, another announcement. Let's talk about something a little closer to home for me. Greedfall 2, the Dying World announcement trailer, hit the internet yesterday. The only thing shorter than that trailer is my patience for the consistent voiceovers from the original game in battles. But I loved me some Greedfall. Weird, Eurojank, BioWare-inspired team basking badasses going forth and kicking asses frontiersmen. That's what made the game great. Well, also some black magic in there. It looks to continue that title's tradition of party battles, weird creatures, and a mix of cultures and timelines with mythologies that we just do not ever see mixing together. Black magic, check. Old shitty gunpowder rifles, check. Giant politically dangerous cities, check. Kilts versus Native American-looking armored warriors, check. And lastly, and probably the most important, mature versions of Pokemon, check, where it looks like shepherd dogs are facing off against lizards in the battlefield. I love it. Gritty, dark, nasty, that was the best thing about Greedfall. Make sure your gunpowder is dry, and hopefully these guys throw an option in here to remove the consistent battle one-liners. Godfall Dying World is supposedly coming out in 2024, and since they're not Bethesda, most likely it still will. Now, lastly, a couple updates on titles coming to you for free. I want to talk about 2 or 3 that are of interest to me, and I hope to you. Game Pass, it has Jurassic World Evolution 2 headed your way, not only on the PC, but also on the console and cloud streaming. I can't lie, I didn't find this game as enjoyable as I did the original title, but it does have some cool park simulation chops, and if you're like me and just hate humanity, you can take down the fences at any time if you just want to wreak absolute dinosaur on human havoc. We also have, coming on May 26th, Sniper Elite 5 for the console and the PC. No cloud streaming on this one. It's going to be available day and date Game Pass. This award-winning series, they say, returns with unparalleled sniping, tactical third-person combat, and enhanced kill cams. I'd probably question a little bit of that because their third-person combat was okay, but not necessarily super tactical, just due to the AI. Fight your way across the most immersive maps ever with many real-world locations captured in stunning detail and an improved traversal system that lets you explore more of them than ever before. Also remember, these guys have made the levels look even better with photogrammetry, which is where a bunch of nerds strap on some cameras and leap out into that wild, wild world known as nature and take some pictures of some rocks and bring them back home and then put those rocks in the game. That may be a dumbed down version of what they do, but photogrammetry is one of the new techs in gaming that I love. It's in Unreal, it's in multiple different engines, and it's going to step up Sniper Elite 5 above 4 and the prior ones, at least we hope, because the original issue, or one of them, with the Sniper games is that they never really did graphically look equal to the generation they were on. Nothing better than splitting an enemy's nuts into 4 separate bags with a high-powered gun, though, unless that enemy is a Nazi, and that is, of course, what you're doing here. I can't wait for this. I want to jump in. I want to see what it is. Also, remember that this game is the one with the new kind of co-op where you can have other snipers that are your friends or enemies come into your game and try to take you out. We don't know exactly how all that gameplay is going to work out, but I can't wait to see those moments where you're going in there and you're trying to be silent and stealthy and you don't realize that Joe Bob, the guy that you called a name on Discord yesterday, is just waiting to piece you up. It's going to be a blast to play this. I really do hope that this game continues to elevate. The sniper style games aren't really necessarily doing too well. You look at the Sniper Contracts games, and I know that some people like them. Those are the Ghost Warrior titles, but they've never really grabbed me, and many of them are incredibly bug prone. Sniper Elite has always had something there, sometimes more or less enjoyable, or more or less ready for a release. I'm really hoping Sniper Elite 5 is just that. And being just that, that is it for me. I hope you guys like these news tidbits. We're trying to do these more often for you guys. If you get a chance, subscribe, tell other people we're doing these. Check out the reviews on the channel. If this is your first time checking out the news and you want to see something presented or you have a little bit of news yourself, post it in the comments. I'll try to make sure that we look at it, and if we can, we cover it either here in the reviews or in the podcast. 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, AM, every single Friday. Peace out.